The world of visual effects, or VFX, is a daunting one if you don't know where to start. In this video, I wanted to break down how we approach tackling this slightly ridiculous effect in a comedy sketch show I directed a few summers back. Hi fellow filmmaker enthusiasts, my name's Scott Peters, a director and cinematographer based in London, England. When I was first showing the scripts for the Amelia Gething Complex, a somewhat insane Mighty Boosh-esque comedy sketch show for the BBC, I was taken a bit aback by the amount of visual effects heavy moments that were written into the show. Whilst our budget wasn't small, we were shooting 8 episodes in as many weeks, and it was spread very thin. We couldn't afford a full-time VFX supervisor, so the majority of the figuring out fell to me. I have dabbled in After Effects ever since being a teen, and I did read one great book once called The Filmmaker's Guide to Visual Effects, but I'm by no means a specialist in this area. I knew for the post there would be just one individual working on the VFX, the overworked and ever so shy Lynn Tidsey. I asked production to have a few meetings up front of shooting, and they also managed to squeeze in a few half days for Lynn to visit set. I made a ton of notes throughout the scripts ahead of our first meeting about any VFX I'd found. I explained how I was thinking of approaching it, always followed by, do you think this is the best approach? Any ideas how we can practically help to sell the effect? From my limited VFX experience working at this level, these seem to be the two most common questions. How can we practically help to sell this effect in camera? How can we hide this part of the effect, so not to give away the magic? Things that may help to practically sell an effect may have been, and not limited to, some wind created by an otherwise invisible force in reality, the movement of real-world objects reacting to an impact, or something as simple as the flicker of a TV screen on the talent's face. For this scene in particular, we were creating a talking tomato, obviously. Perhaps one of the simpler VFX. When I spoke to Lynn, I explained I was planning on having the actor shot in the same lighting setting as the tomato, as well as from the exact same perspective angle-wise. She'd have as close a match of red face paint on as we could get. We'd shoot both the plate of the tomato and the actor on sticks, locked off, and we'd want her to add some subtle handheld camera movement back in post. She agreed that this was the best approach, but however stressed that it was important that the actor's head position would ideally not move within the frame. So when it came to shooting day, the lighting department very kindly rigged this super high-tech headlock so as to keep our talent nice and still. Following that, it was a case of Lynn masking out the eyes and mouth with a subtle feather to blend, tweaking the colours slightly to match and adding back in the camera movement to match our other shots in the scene. I hope you found the insight into this approach useful. Make sure to subscribe for more semi-helpful tips and interesting insider industry knowledge.